lost is coming, and I guess I just have to be with this.
Yes, what else can you
Yes, what else can I do?
You know,
Yes, and this is so uncomfortable. Yes, I didn't come here to feel lost. I wanted
to find yourself.
to find, yes. And now I feel the opposite.
So what is going wrong? What do you think is going wrong? At least something is coming out now,
Yes.
which is good. Yes. Because whatever is experienced is happening.
Yes.
Yes. And how would you describe the feeling of being lost? Is it a feeling or is it a mental talking in the head more? It seems to be more a feeling.
It's a feeling, yeah.
Yes. So, how does it, to help for that, I like to suggest to just narrow it down to an experience. Imagine you are in a labo to make an experience, and you put your finger on the fire a little bit, not too much, but I say, oh, how does it feel? Oh, it's burning, it's hot, and or you put ice or anything. You describe a phenomenon. So now, if you can withdraw a little bit from that, look from outside of it and look, how does it feel? Which texture it has? Is it hot? Is it cold? Is it compressing? How does it feel? To try to just put it like that help to make it less dramatic, because it's like a phenomena, like a physical phenomena. No, it's just an experience. Oh, amazing. How is it? How does it feel? Just looking from like an outsider, from witness consciousness. How does it feel? Oh, I'm so curious, because I want to know myself. So what is not myself, what is in the way, I have the highest intention to not run away from it. If I don't see its face, eyes to eye, I will never know. Now it's coming because I came to Tiru, and I feel, whoa, why you come to me? I did not ask for that. But first come what is on the way, what is hiding, blocking, So all kind of things can come. Feeling of loneliness, anger, being lost, depressed, especially here.
Yes.
So if we don't want to feel anything like that, it's better to not stay too long. Because everything is multiplied here,
Yeah.
intensified.
Yeah.
So if you're aware of that, it helps to have a higher intention inside of you, to find the strength to experience that. But also, maybe you could have the help of some anchor. When you feel lost, we can use some anchor. So do you have a mantra or anything like that, or some practical tools?
No, I don't
Use tools like that.
use tools
To
like
just
that.
walk free like that.
This morning I like mantra singing very much.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
But now you don't use that, yes.
Yes, this morning I used
Yes.
it.
Because this is something which can help, for example, or something else, but something which is focusing. Because when you feel lost, it's also maybe the mind, the attention is scattered.
Yes, it feels like
Wide,
wide.
scattered. So maybe sometime when we feel lost, could be helpful to be focused and to find some tool which is keeping your attention on one point. So it can be a mantra or something else. It can be a mantra that you make up yourself with some words, or a mantra that you, from anything, or just like Ramanama, she said, I, or focus. Maybe when you feel lost like this, there is two ways, I would say, maybe to be willing to experience the emotion or the feeling of being lost, but at the same time you can focus in one point, in the center point. For example, with my own guru who died some years back, so, but the practice is more to sit in the middle of the head, the pineal gland, and we have a mantra. So it's a reference point. Of course, the self absolutely has no place, but we use a place to help to center ourselves. So you can choose a place in the body to focus also. You don't need to keep this for all your life, maybe, but yeah, at some point it helps. Yes, so many things we can use. I have learned some coaching tools, because I also do some coaching and spiritual coaching and or life coach, and we have some tools that we can use to, according to the person, so the person can find herself what is fitting for her to practice spirituality in daily life, because that's the purpose. We can hide ourselves for some time in a cave, as we said, but ultimately, especially in the tradition I'm coming from, the masters say, do not run away from the world. Stay in the world. There is nothing wrong with being married, having a job, within the bound, the illusion of bound, find freedom. So it's even a relationship is not a bar to spirituality. I feel it's even because we can confuse freedom from the mind. The mind, you want to be free from the things, but it's the freedom of the mind. But the real freedom is freedom from the mind. So it means in the midst of the world, in the apparent bondage of relationship, work, family, and whatever, to find freedom from the mind in wherever I am. Otherwise, of course, we can use for sometimes some period of time to do some retreats and whatever is helpful. But ultimately, if we want a freedom which is lasting, it has to be anywhere, anytime. We know that, but maybe we are not yet there. But we have this understanding that it should not depend on something. Otherwise, it's still a prop, like we say in yoga. It's still dependency on something. So we use it. Maybe you have noticed that life gives you many props, support, and slowly, one by one, she takes one away. Oh, how does it feel? And one away. And to find inner strength, independence, all the outer supports that we need for spiritual growth. But so we use them. Yes. Hello, welcome. Yes. It's a small group today. It's like that, so, but you can join us. Yes, come in front. For the sound is better. Yes. Yes. So, but it's good when emotions comes.
It's better when I can feel the emotion, then I can stay with it. Then it's better, and yeah.
And when you make it also, like, try to take out the drama out of it, because when we experience emotion, if we feel overwhelmed totally, and then there is a big story and drama around it, and we feel lost like that.
Yes.
So if we narrow it down and see, how does it feel? Is it hot, warm, cold, this, tight? Oh, it's just a labo. And we are willing to experience this labo. And we have this courage and strength to say, oh, this like feeling of being lost, how does it feel? If we are really interested in spirituality, We have to have this inner strength to be willing to experience what is here without pushing it away. Otherwise, they will come always back like devils. The devil will come back and will, no, I don't want to see you. No. If you have seen the movie of Little Buddha, he's sitting and thousands of soldiers are trying to send arrows of fire and all kind of devils, dancing ladies, so beautiful, all kind of things we like or we don't like. So, and as Buddha said, it's having a preference, having a desire. What is the problem of origin of suffering is desire or having a preference. And of course the mind by nature prefer what is comfortable, what is good, what is nice. It's a natural tendency of the mind. So how to get out of this? Because it's natural that the mind prefer what is good, comfortable. We prefer a sweet feeling than a feeling lost or anger. So that's not easy if we. That's why we can hide for a long time in spirituality. And I have noticed this in my case and many people, that we can pretend to be somewhere and to have a lot of stuff inside of us and create a self-image which is not really matching. Even guru, so-called guru who give satsang here, sorry, but many they are,
Yes.
It's like there is a self-image here and it's not aligned with what they are.
Yes.
And when I see a poster, I feel it. So that's why I don't pretend to be a guru. It's not a satsang. I speak like a normal guy. Huh?
I want to ask you, what happened with that when there is this guru who are but not related with what is inside of them? It's like two sides.
No, because they
a
speak.
guru who is illuminated, suppose, but his real personality is very.
Yes, because
why are they
yeah,
like that?
it's high, you know. Yeah, because you know when you had an experience of realization that you are this self or whatever, it's like a kind of alignment. You experience that,
Yeah.
and there is no doubt.
Yeah.
I experience that, but it doesn't mean that the all stuff from the person, samskara and vasana stuff, has gone. So we are not all Ramana Maharishi, but many people experience that and they just stick with this. I am this, and not, I don't need, because the Guru I said, don't be concerned about this, but instead of not being concerned, it's more denial. And then it creates a separation from an image and what they really are. And if you're careful, you see it's like feeling something feels wrong, like this.
Yes.
That's why I have been putting myself a bit in that for some time, not long, but I realized quickly that it's not. It's better to be authentic and transparent and to present yourself as you are. I am on the path. I am on the way like you. I have realized some stuff, but I still have personal stuff, and the way I do it and I experience it, this I share from where I am. You see the difference?
Yeah,
Then it feels aligned.
yeah.
There is no like that.
Yeah.
Yes, but it's a case of many teachers. We don't need to speak about who or what or like that, but and it's a kind of trap, because you know, if you really experience that honestly, fully, you can speak about it, but you can also have whatever like that, and it creates confusion for people who are around, because they will look at this image, but they will unconsciously feel something. It's like if a child, a mother say some nice word to the child, but underlying at the same time there is some anger, and the child is very sensitive and he feels anger, something, you know, or whatever it is. And the mother says, don't worry, this. But the child says, how to relate with that, you know? And it's the same with the guru, you know? And people are lost because it seems something is true, but something feels also shaky.
Well, I don't understand why does that thing don't permeate into the ego. If you get that state why doesn't that clean everything in the moment?
Because we are not ready. They say, Guru
Because
explains,
it was already.
real Guru explains that if it would happen, we would burn. And what happened to Ramana in one day is because it's a special soul.
Yeah.
But most of us, we could not take it if it would happen, because it would like burning. Yes. That's why there is a system of protection. It's like electric fuse. So because I do also some therapy work and Chinet song, which is abdominal Taoist massage, and we learn in that there is, we call it a guardian. So as long as the system is not ready to release something, there is a kind of guardian who say no,
Don't do it. No.
I can't. So it's blocking the way. And if we can, that's why we can pretend to be whatever and have stuff. And but one day, after some time, maybe the system will send some signal and say, oh, now maybe, you know, like you come to Tiru first time and you feel it's difficult, but maybe somehow you are here for some reason and you can open to experience some difficult emotions, stuff, whatever, that you could not face until now, and maybe your system is ready to open to that. So it's not pleasant, but there is no other way. We came through this, thank you, we came through this, I call it the original wound, of not only me, but some people in Shaivism, I forget this tradition from Himalaya, they call it, I read the other day, the tremor, like the vibration, this first vibration. I practice myself the inner light and sound meditation, and it comes from the first vibration of that. And this vibration create all this, and in duality and all these phenomena. So it brings also suffering by separation, but also through that first vibration we can come out of it. We came out through that first wound or first vibration, and through that also we can uncover it. So if we understand that all kind of emotions or disturbance we have in our system, they are reflections of this first wound. The wound I have with my mother, with this, with that, with this, they are all a reflection of a higher original first wound of separation from the oneness. So from this first atomic explosion, boom, it creates multitude of reflection of wounds through relationships, through all this. So we all, my view is we have all the same wound. We are all the same. We're experiencing in different colors, green, yellow, hot, this, like, but it's only one wound of separation, right? So the more we become aware of that, it can give us the strength to realize that running away from this discomfort is not it's not helping me. So if I understand that to be here, which they speak about here, to be here, which is our nature, to not run away from being here, whatever, comfort is coming, pleasant things are coming, okay. Unpleasant things are coming, okay. You know, it's like a labo. I'm willing to stay here. My guru also was saying that. He told me, you have experienced so many things in your life. What if from now you would say, I don't go anywhere, I don't do anything. I let the body-mind to do whatever it has to do, but I stay here. And it's like he was giving me this hint, this strength. Stay here. You never, if you do that, you will realize that you never left home. You cannot leave home. It's an impossibility. Eternity is your own name, is what you are. And then you will see that spiritual, personal growth is also joining there by learning to stay here and observing the game of the mind who has a preference, who desires. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you see, we also why we sometimes we don't want experience emotions, because we have been said for men don't cry or this or that or whatever, society, parents, or also because we are afraid of the reaction of others. If I say this or react like this or have an emotion or feel something, we're afraid to feel judged or the reaction of others. So to learn to be here and to be ourselves. Not ourselves in the esoteric sense, to be ourselves. Because this we can hear from maybe far away, from the self itself, the absolute self. But being yourself relatively. You know, when you look at it closely, being absolutely yourself and relatively yourself is not different. What does it mean to be relatively yourself, to be yourself? Mean if you have to say something to someone, you say it. After, if you go inside in a business emotionally and then you trigger yourself, you add some unnecessary emotions around it. So it's not to be here, it doesn't mean I don't have to say anything to anyone. No. We have to say, we have to be true to ourselves. But in this action we can look, you know, like I was discussing with my partner yesterday about that. I was telling her, when you go in reaction in one day, maybe 10 times, or how many times in a day we react, we create a field of reaction with emotion around, which vibrate, and we spend energy in that. We lose energy in that by all these micro reactions like that. So, and it can also, in some case, for some people, prevent us to act in a aligned way and clear way in the world. So if we can learn to not, to learn to stop doing this, adding all this micro reaction inside of us to everything like this, we lose a lot of attention and energy in this. So by being here, by finding the strength to stay here absolutely and relatively at the same time, because it's not different. We think it's different, the absolute and the relative. But the sage, like Ramana said, it looks like that. So first we say, look for the absolute, for the self, reject the world. But at the end he say, who make a difference? Because in truth it is, both are here. Right? So there is nothing to run away. Either we run away from the center. Why? The mind is running away. It's very simple. It doesn't matter if we don't see it. But I like to do this one because it's very simple, but the center of attention, when it goes out, we spread our attention outside, on outer objects. So the subject is projecting on object. So, and we think, the identified subject thinks that the cause of its suffering is coming from the world, from the object of perception. So he tends to do what? When there is a discomfort here, he tends to go out to all the object and say, why are you doing this and this and that? And whether it is a person, a situation, or the weather even. You can be very upset with the weather, which is stupid because it just happened.
Yeah.
So, but if we understand that the attention is going out all the time, and we first learn to bring back attention to a center in any way we like, and from there after we realize that this center is also apparently in time and space, but beyond that it has no time and space, but we learn first to bring it in one point. That's why we speak about practices like mantra or something else, or to sit in meditation, to quiet the mind, all these techniques. But the main point why of this meeting is to talk about practical spirituality how it joined, emptying the system from its own disturbances instead of experiencing the pure flow of Shakti, of joy inside of us, then all what is blocking, if we are willing to let it go. But for that we have to be willing to experience it. And to understand that awareness of experiencing it is necessary that it goes. If we hide it, let it in the system somewhere, or throwing out, vomiting our emotion outside, anger or whatever, polluting the outside, we think it's really, in the moment it seems it's freeing ourselves. But first we are polluting outside, and it comes back to ourselves, because it's not really, it's just a momentary expression. But if you have noticed people who are angry, when we express it again and again and again, it doesn't stop, because it's again a pushing away. I don't want to experience that, so I express my anger on people, on objects. And like me, you have probably observed that when people are angry, it's nothing to do with us. We project, it all comes from images we have in our system, from the past, and something is looking like what we have experienced, and we react to that and put it out. But in truth, the one has nothing to do with that. So it's also good to be aware of that, because when somebody tells me act in some way, if I take personally, then it becomes my business. The person is just energy expressing itself. It's her story. It's not mine. But if I react to that and take it in, and then I go, but it's my own story, and I think it's connected. So there is just a resonance, but each one is in own story. I don't know if you understand. So it's good to observe that. And so again, to stay here, to be here, and to be willing to experience anything which is coming. It doesn't mean that we have to be willing to go in suffering purposefully. It's not about that. I don't like personally too much this workshop, or where you go in it and go in your past. I don't like this too much. To go, we can do that, of course, to go in therapy, past. For me, I like better to use life as a natural therapy. You know, if you stay here, wherever life brings you, you will have the trigger. What else do you want? I don't say we should not do therapy, but I think life is enough. You have all the time triggers. Use them, and you will see the guru in everything. And the therapy, the guru is coming, using everyone to trigger you, to release you from that. And you see the guru in everyone. So thank you. When somebody triggers you, he says thank you. First we say, no, I don't want, no, who are you, why you do that, why you? And slowly, the more we turn our attention back, and we learn to take it. Oh, thank you. And it's also a way to see God in everyone, because God, or the self, is using everyone to bring stuff out of here. And I don't have to do anything. It's so amazing. And for that, I don't even deserve it, but it's coming, all the triggers are coming as a blessing, like a rain of blessing. It's not, of course, it's a nice way to put it, but if you see it from a spiritual perspective, it's a rain of blessing, all these triggers, to see, oh, I have nothing to do, just to be here. It's coming. I don't have to try to manipulate, reject, suppress, anything. I just have to be here and let it be as it like. And you realize that it's just energy flow, Shakti, who is playing by itself, and you are just what they call Shiva, or witness consciousness, which is experiencing all this play of energy. But you are not judged by it as witness consciousness.
And not make a drama out of it.
If there is a drama, we can observe, with observe, and the more we train ourselves to withdraw back attention to witness consciousness and relax. Because what we do, something happen, someone says something or a situation happen, we contract, no, inside. Maybe not physically, something maybe we cannot see it, but inside there is energetic contraction. So if we can learn with anything, somebody look at me in a little strange way, contraction inside. But if I use all these little triggers for relax, step back, relax and step back, and just allow it to be this time, instead of perpetuating this habit to go to the object and trying to fix it. Or, of course, there is another trick here, is to not confuse that with not doing anything. For example, I'm sensitive to sound here, which is a challenge for me here. Yeah. I'm better and better, I learn from it, because in France I live in a silent place. But we can practice, how to be less affected by it. But it doesn't mean I cannot go to a quiet place or choose a quiet place to live also. So we can have some practical action preferences but at the same time having the inner work, to be aware of what is the inner work. So both can work together. Because, as we said before, we have some this guardian, who have a reason to be, So if we cannot be willingly standing side by side of a bulldozer for 3 hours, for me it's not possible. So I have to move away to do something. Yes. So, but some people who have more another kind of systems, they can take this. For me, for example, this is something not nice for my system. So, so we can learn to improve how much we can take from things. So it can be from any. We all have different kind of triggers. It comes from the same wound, but it takes different shape for every one of us. But if we realize it's the same one, the same guy who is coming to free us from that first illusion of separation, which is something quite. If you stay in Tiru, I have been coming for some time in Tiru, and I have gone through some very terrible things, energetically. Yes. But by staying there, not running away from it, and in the middle of it, if you can surrender, and even open to the love of God, or whatever has a meaning for you. For me, I did that, for example, when I went in some very difficult energy, like really hell. And I know many people experience this kind of things here. And if you really surrender and open, and at that moment, I said, because when we contract, when we experience something very difficult, we contract, and I don't want. It's very difficult to relax. But if you can relax, and even surrender, and even have an opening and say, I'm willing to open to feel the love of God. This is my language, but it can be another language for you, whatever it is. But to open, to transcend that, in that most difficult experience, whatever it is. It can be. I met a lady the other day, her son of 20 years old died, and she's very, it's very difficult for her. So many kind of experience like this we can go through, but it's all the same. But the idea of, because we are stuck in a system of pain and pleasure, hell and heaven, and if we don't want to experience, the guru of my guru, he said, we have a preference for heaven. So if the physical place it seems not so fitting for us, we will practice, go in mass, whatever, monastery or whatever, or as an hermit, to expect heaven. But there is a preference for heaven rather than hell. But he says the saint has no preference, neither for hell or heaven, pain or pleasure.
Pain?
Because pain or pleasure, hell or heaven. As long as we have a preference, we can also go in some higher planes, where they call heaven, but how long we'll stay there? It will be, of course, if it's a heaven in a place, a higher plane, it will depend on time and space, because it's a heaven which is as an opposite. So maybe some soul will stay there for some time, and then when the time is finished. So when we really want to realize what is all about, all the business is to be free, as Buddha says, from desire or preferences. So now we have a strong preference for pleasure rather than pain. Whether physical pain, emotional pain, mental pain, we cannot deny that the mind has a preference. I think the first step is to recognize, to be honest and say, yes, the mind has a preference, a strong preference, even for heaven. So if we understand that and realize that to stay here at any cost, whatever comes here, I stay here. Not physically. This here-ness is something which is beyond time and space. It's my nature. Here-ness is to be here whatever happens. I'm willing to stay here. I stop reading. My guru said it's not about achieving anything. It's more about stopping to avoid, to run away. But for the mind, it's very difficult to hear that. But that's the direct path. Stopping to run away. Because we run away from our own home to be here. And we, by following the mind, we run away from home constantly by listening to the mind. It's anything the mind brings, we listen to it and we follow it. Our emotion, and this. We do it. Nobody else do it. We run away from home. So it's not easy, but at the same time it's very easy because we have nothing to do. To be here, to stay here. And we can use, of course, to support that, we can use any tools. What can help me to stay here, to not avoid, to not run away? Mantra, meditation, going to a satsang, whatever. All is good. Or even receiving a session with someone, or like I do coaching, if we need, and whatever can help. If I have the proper understanding that consciousness is not in time and space. What I am looking is that I'm looking for what? If we all are honest, we are looking for attention, love, we want to be understood, all this. We want all this, right? Yeah. But we tend to look for it outside, through others. I want to be understood, to be heard, to be loved, to have attention from others. But if we understand that consciousness itself, which is not personal consciousness, has all this quality, attention, love, whatever I said before, then we learn to put our attention to that, to consciousness, rather than to keep our attention on object perceived by consciousness. It includes our thoughts, our emotion, our body, other people. Instead of keeping our attention focused there on object perceived by consciousness, I willfully devote myself. I devote my life to that. Whether I call it consciousness, God, self, it doesn't matter. I devote myself to consciousness instead of devoting myself to objects of consciousness. Thoughts, emotion, this. So I learn how to do that. So one way, the biggest help that we have is all these triggers, because these triggers are happening here, no? So they are the closest. And it helps us, it gives us a direction where to keep our attention. So we withdraw attention, we stay here and learn to stay here to that consciousness, which is, because consciousness, which is not person, take everything as it is. It loves everything as it is because it has no preference.
No preference.
It has no preference. And that's what we are looking. We are looking for love, attention, and all this. Understanding. And the quality of our own consciousness is that. So that's a practice. Practicing eternity or practicing to be here, whatever you will call it. And then spiritual growth, personal growth will happen by itself. Just by willing to be here and just noticing.
Please prepare for everything.
So I was speaking a lot, maybe
That's it, Thank you.
anything about that you want to share or ask, or
Yeah, interesting.
does it bring
The
some...
practice now will be good practice. Let's suppose right now I have something I can relate. I had my daughter, and they were supposed to be in a place, and they didn't tell me to go now after the. So I get attached to that feeling. So I said, no, why? It's okay. Everything is complete. No problem. So I changed the feeling of being, oh, they didn't tell me. Now I feel it's okay. It's perfect. If you didn't call me, they should have a reason. I don't know, or no problem. Should be happy, because why should I feel bad about it? It's very strange, So now I'm feeling okay. I'm thinking that I'm feeling okay with this action,
And you're gonna...
everything's complete. Everything is complete. If it happens like that, it's
Yeah,
because it's supposed to be like that. So I shouldn't be feeling, oh, why didn't they call me? No, that's
Good.
in my mind.
Yeah, it's all going here,
All going here.
Like this little ant is going from here
Yeah.
to here to here.
To here.
I should be here, I should do that,
Why
but
didn't I do it?
who is doing it? Life is doing it. The more we learn to surrender to,
To what it came, it doesn't matter.
or to, we can call it consciousness, life, or guru, God, it's the same. But the more we devote ourselves to that, the more we realize this is leading the show, not me.
Exactly.
I pretend that I go there. I had 1 month ago in France an experience where I was alone in mountain, very quiet, after a walk, and I sat and I was seeing, realizing, being so aware how many functions are going on in the body, how many atoms, this and that, and they all go on by themselves. The blood, this, that, and at the most subtle level also. And there is a guy who called me who pretend to control the business. I call it a big spam. Because it's all happening, so many things happen right now when I talk, which I'm not aware of. How can I pretend to be the controller of that? It's like such an amazing machine. Only this small one, but then the universe, and so many universes, so many worlds, so many subtle worlds, spiritual worlds. And me is just a spam. So as you said, you experience it. It's just, yes, you notice that the mind pretends to control. You look, yes. Anything you would like to share with us?
I'm thankful to be here because I just again I get reminded that pain, everybody has pain, his or her own pain. I always have my pain, and sometimes it's very difficult to relax. You contract because of the pain. Sometimes it's very difficult to relax. that time, I find it very helpful to focus, to find some relaxation in your body. For example, my heart constricts, it's painful because of painful emotion. Then I try to find some relaxation in my body, somewhere else. This side is relaxed. So I focus on this sensation of relaxation in this part of the body, rather than this constriction. Then it helps to relax. Just focus on find relaxation in the other part of the body, and focus on it, and remind yourself, oh, this feels good. Okay. Oh, this side, remember my body, this part remembers happiness, relaxation. So just, oh, this is sensation of relaxation. Remind myself. And the relaxation spreads to other parts of the body. So it's sometimes it helps to relax when you are overwhelmed with contraction or deeper emotion. Actually, my experience, strong. I sometimes also feel very strong emotion from my past programming, but sometimes I get also overwhelmed. But I know that it's just thought, memory, and also just a sensation in the body. Just the sensation of the body. I say, just a sensation of the body. Observe it. But sometimes, as I said, too difficult because it's too strong sensation in the body. Then I move my attention to other part of the body, find relaxation, and it helps a lot to relax your body. Once your body relaxes, it's easy to deal with emotions and thoughts. My
Yes.
personal experience is for people like me who has childhood trauma, difficult relationship, difficult programming in my body, nervous system, then the first thing, important thing is to relax your body. That's the most important thing. Once you can do that, the rest is relatively easy. Dealing with the emotion, your thoughts relatively easy. Then you can focus on yourself. Yeah. Atma vichara. Yeah, self-inquiry. But when you have very difficult emotion because of childhood programming, it's difficult to do Atma vichara, self-inquiry.
Yes.
So first job is to relax your body. Whatever it is, yoga, could be yoga, or it could be just observing, finding relaxation in your body, and breathing also.
Yes, relaxing, I found also it's a very important word. It seems when you did a lot of spiritual practice, you tend to say, oh, relaxing, but I agree that relaxing is very important, even when we speak about physically, but it's connected with what we were talking before, totally, because when you have a trigger, what you feel. And if we go back to history of trauma, why they have been stored in the system is because my consciousness, individual consciousness, could not take it. So it went somewhere in the system, which is a place which is matching with this kind of event or emotion, and it stays. It can be in a knee, in an organ, it stays anywhere, and it tends to be contracted.
Yeah, contract.
Yeah, and I was reading from a book of Chinetsong, which I practice, a guy who said he had many people who had osteoporosis, the bones.
Yeah, we don't.
And he noticed that when somebody has osteoporosis, on many clients, he noticed they don't have osteoporosis in all parts of the body, in only some part of the body. And he noticed that the bones has osteoporosis where there is a trauma around it. And because there is a tension, a block, then the bone tend to be sucked of maybe calcium or stuff or whatever, and if you start to heal that part, then the bone can regain. If you can relax that part somehow and release the memory, then the bone will also regain life, and so it can even go to the bones. It's like, so we cannot say that everything is about that, but a lot, I think a lot is about memories kept somewhere in the system, and how we can release that, so we can do like this, Chinetsang or something else, or therapy, but we can just use life. Because when something happens, you can feel in your body where it happens, you know? And just relax there, and don't run away from the discomfort, and allow it. It's not comfortable, and again and again and again, and practice in daily life. And one thing also I would like to say about that is, one thing we tend to run away from is action. Why we tend to stay in our cave or hide? Because to take action, what will we do? If I take action toward a goal, by going there, the goal is illusory in a way, because it will not give me the happiness I want, ultimately. We know that. But by going to that direction, toward the goal, it will allow some block to come out. That's the real purpose. So the way is the goal, not the goal itself. So the way is the goal because it will allow things to come out. So we should not be afraid to be in life, to be in relationship. Many people now hide, don't want to be in a relationship, who want to be in multiple relationships. But the strength of a one-to-one relationship is so powerful. I think it has a meaning also too, because you have a focused attention and it's so much reflecting back and mirroring that now people tend to avoid that. But it can be a great teacher also. So I would say through living life and being a life of action and normal life, it will be also a help to uncover what we don't need. So not to be afraid to be in the world, which we tend to do when we are on spiritual quest. And we wonder how to bring this together, spiritual life and worldly life. How to bring this? This is one. It's not separate. So there is a lot of
Mosquitoes.
mosquitoes.
Yeah.